Or ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
A local biotech company says it's developing antibody treatments against new strains of COVID-19, how they work, plus.
But I will say that this particular relief is transformational.
The city of San Diego is expecting $300 million in federal pandemic aid, while Mayor Todd Gloria says the extra money won't keep the city out of financial disaster.
And the former La Mesa police officer at the center of a controversial arrest answers to charges. Why critics say Matt Dages should have been charged with more crimes.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
A lot of San Diegans got in line early today for the new Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The single shot is expected to make distribution a little easier. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Pena.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco explains why some showed up to Balboa Park without an appointment.
Addie Burnett spent all day Tuesday camped out in front of the Balboa Park Municipal Gym. She had plenty of company. Dozens of people showed up with umbrellas, hoping to get any leftover vaccines.
I think the Johnson & Johnson is the ticket.
At the age of 80, Burnett has been eligible for weeks, but says she hasn't been able to get an appointment.
It shouldn't be near as hard as it is. And, you know, there's a lot of seniors out there just like me that I don't have a computer.
Even though research trials show the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is about 70% effective compared to Moderna and Pfizer at around 95%, Burnett says the convenience is worth it.
I just have a good feeling about it. And it's one shot only. Why would you want to go in for two when you can get one?
That's one of the reasons the county set aside 1,000 doses of the J&J vaccine for the homeless. The goal is to get them vaccinated before they're moved out of the convention center at the end of the month.
We want to prioritize that vaccine for those hardest to reach, the most underserved, those with whom 2 doses could provide a challenge.
Burnett says if she doesn't get a shot today, she'll be back on Wednesday.
And I hope it's pouring down rain and nobody else comes.
The county says so far it has received just over 14,000 doses of the J&J vaccine. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
Wow, 80, and she's going to sit out there in the rain. We wish her the best of luck. As of this afternoon, appointments at the Balboa Park site, they were booked for the week, but the county encourages people to keep on checking. And more vaccine shortfalls are forcing the Del Mar Fairgrounds Superstation to close again. That site will close Friday through Sunday. The station is scheduled to reopen on Monday. Affected patients are being rescheduled automatically through the MyTurn online appointment system. Also, an unrelated technical error caused 1,800 more appointments than available to be scheduled for tomorrow. Those will be rescheduled as well. San Diego County will remain in the most restrictive purple tier for now. The county currently has an adjusted case rate of 8.8 new daily COVID-19 cases per 100,000 people. To move into that red tier, that number needs to be fewer than 7 and has to be maintained for at least 2 weeks. Moving into the red tier will allow limited allowance of indoor dining, gyms, movie theaters, and services. And here are our latest numbers for the county. In San Diego, 473 new cases were reported today, bringing that total to 263,748. There were also 50 new deaths, bringing that total to more than 3,400.
The House is expected to vote on the new coronavirus relief bill tomorrow. It includes $1,400 checks for many Americans. The bill also extends the boost to unemployment benefits, pays for more vaccinations and testing. On top of that, it would include billions of dollars for state and local governments to help small businesses. President Biden says the help is desperately needed. Republicans say the bill has too much wasteful spending.
400,000 small businesses went out of business. They got in line, but they couldn't get the help.
It's a real tragedy. When you look at that package, we know that the result of that package is going to be middle-class tax increases.
If the bill passes, the checks could go out by the end of the month. Mayor Todd Gloria today revealed how he plans to spend upwards of $300 million of stimulus funds estimated to reach the city's coffers. ABC 10 News reporter John Horn explains why the influx of cash won't keep the city out of financial danger.
The mayor says he'll take a 3-pronged approach once that money comes in. 1, defeat COVID. 2, protect city services, and 3, give San Diegans the tools they need to recover from the pandemic. Mayor Todd Gloria says the city is seeing unprecedented demand for its services while its finances are suffering.
You could shut down the entire Park and Recreation Department and barely balance the budget, right? At a time when San Diegans are using the parks more than ever, right?
Amid the pandemic, city library services have been cut, trash pickup has been stretched thin, and city employees are transitioning to fill gaps in services. And Gloria's concerned it could get worse.
Significant.
But he expressed optimism Tuesday over the new stimulus package, which could inject $300 million into City Hall. The city is facing an $86 million budget deficit through June 30th. That amount balloons to $154 million next fiscal year, which starts July 1st.
This particular relief is transformational.
Gloria says he wants to use the money to shore up this year's budget, boost vaccine distribution, invest in services for San Diego's most vulnerable, and create resources that help small businesses navigate COVID. But Gloria cautioned the budget woes aren't over because a key part of San Diego's ability to survive depends on tourism still floundering amid the pandemic. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
It's unclear how much of the estimated $300 million will be tied to specific areas of spending. The city may also receive the funds in 2 separate lump sum payments.
A local company that has been creating antibody treatments is stepping up its research in targeting different coronavirus variants. They told our ABC 10 News reporter Leah Pizzetti this antibody treatment should fight every strain of the virus known right now.
San Diego-based company Sorrento Therapeutics is partnering with Mount Sinai to develop an antibody treatment that will be able to fight any known coronavirus variant. Sorrento already has treatments in clinical trials which can be given in 2 different ways, through an IV that takes 2 to 3 minutes, or a nasal spray, something a doctor could prescribe if you test positive.
And you go to a CVS, picked it up, and you're putting a few drops in your nose, and you're preventing the virus from replicating, gets infected into the lung, and preventing you from spreading the virus.
This should be more accessible and cheaper than current treatment methods.
Maybe a few $100. Instead of you're talking about, you have a Trump in the hospital, you're talking about $20,000.
And they say it's more powerful than current antibody treatments, meaning they can make more doses to create more access.
For the average person, it gives them hope that getting a diagnosis of COVID, if they haven't been vaccinated and the vaccine did take, they now have additional options to prevent anything serious happening.
But their main selling point, this should not only treat people who are positive, but also protect against every strain of the virus known right now, which they say no vaccine can currently do, and will be crucial moving forward for any future strains that grow.
It's definitely not a one and done vaccine, and this virus is mutating, keep on mutating, escaping all of the immunity established. So it's going to be multi-years, and that's why the whole world scientists is working on this to solve the problem.
Leah Pizzetti, ABC 10 News.
They also tell us those trials are moving forward to test both the IV and the nasal droplets on healthy volunteers. The goal is to have final approval by the end of the year. And you can follow any new developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News.
Turning now to our weather. A powerful winter storm is expected to move into San Diego County overnight, bringing rain, wind, and snow. ABC 10 News meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking that system. Angelica, this one is supposed to pack quite a punch.
That's right, Lindsay. We're going to be looking at some heavy rain, heavy snow, potentially treacherous conditions on the roads. So let's take a look at what's happening right now. You can see the frontal boundary is still in the Bay Area, but ahead of that front, there's what we call prefrontal showers, which is basically what will be arriving into the area tonight. So it'll start out lightly, and then it's going to be picking up into tomorrow morning. For morning commuters, we could even see isolated thunderstorms, and flash flooding will be a possibility. A winter storm warning will go into effect tonight at 10 p.m. all the way through Thursday at 10 p.m. because of heavy snow expected for our mountains, starting at 4,000 feet tomorrow morning, but potentially dropping lower to about 3,500 feet by Thursday morning. A wind advisory is also in effect for our deserts. Damaging winds will be possible, gusting between 50 to 60 miles per hour. And we're going to see several bursts of wind. So the first one tonight, And then we'll have another one developing tomorrow afternoon. Even coastal communities will become gusty. Right now, strongest winds are in our mountains and deserts. Coming up, I'll show you how much rain we can expect and also snow totals expected around the county.
All right, thanks, Angelica. In the meantime, county workers are busy making sure parts of the county are prepared ahead of tomorrow's storm. Flood control crews were out earlier today in Lakeside, cleaning out trash and debris from inside a culvert tunnel. Culverts like these help prevent flooding on roads. Crews will also be providing sandbags for anyone who needs them. More information is available on readysandiego.org.
The former La Mesa police officer at the center of a controversial arrest caught on video last year appeared virtually in court today. He pleaded not guilty on a charge of falsifying his police report. Our 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty talked with local civil rights leaders who say the officer should have been charged with more crimes.
Matthew Dages stood out of camera range in virtual court, his lawyer arguing he never falsified a police report. This cell phone video that went viral, a key part of the trial. It shows Dages arresting Amari Johnson near a Grossmont trolley station after he accused him of smoking in a prohibited area. You can see the former officer pushing Johnson and arresting him for assaulting an officer. La Mesa police dropped all charges and the officer was fired. Now, civil rights leaders and Johnson's lawyer converged Tuesday, saying the officer should have been slapped with stronger charges.
He still feels like Officer Dages is being charged with the cover-up, but is not being charged with the underlying crimes that he committed. The battery charges, the kidnapping, the, color of authority.
The video sparked both peaceful demonstrations and violent protests in May. Later, looters burned buildings and robbed stores. It came on the heels of the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Civil rights leader Tasha Williamson says all of the former officers' arrests should now be re-examined.
And all of his cases should be reviewed. Every last one of his cases should be reviewed. Because in the eyes of the community, he is an officer that had biases and alleged racism towards people who look like me.
Johnson filed a federal lawsuit against the city and Dages, alleging excessive force and negligence based on his race. Today, the judge ordered the former officer to have no contact with Johnson. Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
Dages' lawyer says the former officer looks forward to clearing his name. He faces up to 3 years in prison if he's convicted.
The FBI is trying to identify this person. This is video of who they believe tried to blow up the Democratic and Republican Party headquarters on the night before the Capitol attack. That person was spotted in a hoodie and mask carrying a bag. They allegedly left 2 pipe bombs. One was in a park area by the DNC, the other in an alley by the RNC. The FBI is asking anyone who saw or heard anything suspicious to call them. It appears thousands of National Guard troops will be staying at the Capitol a while longer. Defense officials say they're approving a request by the Capitol Police Department for more help. Troops have been stationed at the Capitol since the attack in January. Intelligence agencies say there is a continued threat from far-right conspiracy groups such as QAnon.